Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Yo, yo. What's good in the hood? You guys hear me good? How's everybody's weekend? What a weekend, huh? New effects, new everything. Didn't get notification. Don't know what to tell you about that. I'm pretty good, ready to get this week started. That's not good. How many of you aren't getting the notification? What a weekend indeed. Ooh, that was hot. Okay, there it is. No notifications. Yeah, some of you guys, some of you don't. I don't know what's going on there. That's kind of weird. Have an alarm, to be honest. Okay. Maybe some of you guys set some alarms. You know our schedule, so set some alarms for it. What'd you guys make of this crazy election? What do you make of Trump's response and on shitting all over the entire process? Not that you didn't know it would happen, but what's your take on it? Kind of making an ass of the United States to the whole planet. Can you imagine if Obama was doing this shit publicly? Do you want to see how big the double standard is? It's that big. But you have to realize, right, like something that Ari Melber said, half the country supported this fucking piece of shit. Half of the fucking people 71 million people, voted for a person that acts like a giant fucking child, is a raging bigot, a fucking rapist, fucking lying piece of shit. That's the kind of excuse people will make for a white person when footprint of bias is a thing no one deals with, right? White superiority bias is how you get such a giant differential between the scorecards that Trump gets and Obama got. You could never have imagined fucking half of the fucking Congress backing this kind of childlike behavior out of Obama. Remember, Trump is able to inject the narrative that the election has got fraud all through it with no fucking evidence whatsoever. And keep in mind that Trump also could basically attack Obama for his birthright. And Obama didn't have the credibility as the president to tell you where the fuck he was born. But Trump had the authority to tell you that he wasn't born where he was. Remember, Trump can actually bring into being an idea and give it life just because he has the authority. This is really important to understand about how people get misled in markets, right? Because the guy in the suit that comes on CNBC and tells you a load of shit that fucking, warps your belief of reality, does it because of your perception of his authority. What you're watching is Trump exercise white superiority bias, white privilege, and tell you crazy, crazy shit that allows him to fucking create ideas just because he has the authority to do it. This is not really that different than what allows you to create a religion if you're the right figure in society at the time. Appreciate my moderator. Yeah, you're gonna have Trump tards get lit up in these shows. Understand really clearly, we don't give a flying fuck what you believe if you're a fucking inbred redneck that supports a bigot. Your opinion doesn't mean shit here. We're not asking you, we don't give a fuck. You're just proving that you're stupid. That's all that it means. It means nothing to anybody here. We don't do white privilege here. We don't really need you to explain life to us. That's not that kind of party, motherfucker. We don't care. In the world where you come from, you believe that you need to dictate truth to us. I'm not in that world, bitch. You're on my station. I'll dictate it to you. Triggered Trump tards. They're all the same kind of fucking piece of shit. No one cares. Like I said on the last show, where does everything that comes from for you to watch this show? Blue states, blue areas, right? Red states don't create anything. All the tech you enjoy comes from blue. We don't care what you think. No one's asking here. No one's interested. But it's fun to watch them squirm. At the end of the day, you see it's not really about what the facts of the matter are. It's about control. And that's what white power is about. It's about control. That's what Trump tapped into, right? Is white people fearing the loss of control because of seeing a black president like Obama. It brought out the fucking real latent racism that, is very much still in the world today from the white powers that run it. It's why no country has ever done better when they come in contact with a European nation or its derivative. they steal and crush everybody they touch, and the threat that they might not be in total control of the planet, like, basically brings out like this fucking like primeval rage, you know. But there's no logic involved in the hatred of racism, and that's what you see. You see what Trump is allowed to get away with. It's just based on the fact that he's supported by people who just want him to win for his race, not for the fact that he's telling anything remotely true. He can literally fucking just say anything, and he'll be supported by people who want white superiority, you know? So, it's funny too, right? I clearly have never been friendly to bigots that support Trumpism. Doesn't you find it funny how many of them won't leave my station? They know this is the most accurate shit they've ever seen, but on this one point, they know this bigot's something else, you know? It cracks me up. If you're pretty sure you know which part my analysis missed, then you don't need to watch my station, right? It's pretty crazy. Oh, I lost track of something here. Where'd you go? There you are. Where did that go? Didn't realize my guy wasn't on. I like this dude. There we go. Now I feel better. One of these is annoying. There it goes. I like my little blue glowing moon. Thing's dope. But you know, I told you a saying, you know, once upon a time truth was the authority, but in our time, you know, the authorities become the truth. What you watch is that Trump is giving life to ideas simply from his positioning, nothing more. And the same kind of thing that could never be done from Obama's positioning, which is part of the reason so many people could miss the stock market, because Obama wasn't qualified as a messenger by, you know, society to tell you his own truth. So he couldn't tell you to buy the stock market even if he was the president, just because he was black. Trump can tell you anything, and it gets to be debated because he's white. That authority demonstrating the ability to create a narrative, nothing more than their authoritative position, should never be lost on you. It's what the media does. It keeps the crowd constantly off balance, because the crowd has been conditioned throughout a lifetime of listening to the authority tell you the truth, to allow them to manipulate fucking reality and tell you what you want to hear, right? Because most people don't really want the truth. They want to be told, you know, constant reassurances of what they believe is true. So the media is basically supplying you with the bullshit you want to hear. And because you believe in them as an authority, they can create narratives in your head that you then begin to then vet against nothing. Trump is taking an extreme version of that and taking the whole country for a ride on it, because he has that position to just speak anything. Obama's not born here or anything. And it can be debated simply because he said it, not because he ever introduced a shred of truth, you know, or proof to support it. So, ES at all-time highs, yep. People don't really, I don't think, convince themselves Trump is intelligent. It's just he's their champion. They don't really care. The amount of things that they're willing to omit to support him is what's interesting, right? The cognitive dissonance is really real. They don't really give a shit. But in this moment, you get to see that they don't care about truth, right? They just care about a champion. And so that herd behavior that gets behind him and his ideologies is what's really dangerous. We made this comparison. Let's find it. Hold on. Let me see real quick. All right, let's get this guy. You like that move? I knew that thing was gonna come up, right? Defensive strategies. All right. So, let's see. Fucking page. That stupid, what do you call it? The thing that makes it like black out always does that white out first. It's such a fucking bunch of bullshit. I forget what's it called. The night mode plugin for Chrome. I must have a bad one, but it does that weird shit. He's clearly not a good businessman. All his companies are bankrupt. He's a fucking fraud. He's always been known to be that though in New York. Just not outside. He was never known for that. His branding power is pretty good. So where is it at? Hold on, let me see. So I put a couple things out that got the Trump trolls, going on my wall. It was pretty funny to watch. But this one, was the one that was most heavily reported. And this is what it is, right? Do you think the people on the right need the person leading them in ISIS to make any sense? They just need to reaffirm the beliefs that these people are willing to believe. That's Trumpism. Trumpism is nothing but a fractal of ISIS. It's lowbrow, uneducated, fucking scumbags, racist ones at that just want somebody to fucking reaffirm their fucking bullshit beliefs. And that's what's fucking really dangerous, right? This kind of behavior is just fucking tribal, crazy shit. And you're watching white racist tribalism, and you're seeing fucking Middle Eastern tribalism, and it's just, religiously oriented. This fucking most dangerous shit in the world, right? They've combined fucking the ignorance of fucking religion with fucking the animal-like behavior of tribalism. It's insanely dangerous. Both versions of this, in either place that they occur. Just because, there's a white face on one of them doesn't somehow make it less harmful. It's exactly as dangerous. That's what's funny about it, right? Because you take exactly the behavior of Trump-tards and stick in the Middle East, and they'll call these people fucking animals. But watch them do it, and somehow magically they're not the exact same piece of fucking shit, right? It's pretty funny. But that's the bias they have. Yeah, they reported me for posting that picture, trying to call it fucking advertising that those what do you call it? These groups, like I was promoting them. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, these people are fucking idiots. They are exactly how you get these behaviors, Imagine that in Germany, that Hitler had an 80% approval rating while he's genociding a people in broad daylight. Do you think that was about the logic of it? It's about tribalism, it's about animal-like behavior. These are animals you're watching here. Just the same in both fucking crowds. Just because they're not fucking brown people, which white people historically call us animals, right? They couldn't be the thing that they're calling everybody else in these photos. But these groups of white people are exactly the animals that they fucking point fingers at everyone else and call them. And there's no logic to this. They don't give a shit about logic. Because in this position, if they can fucking exterminate you, you think they're listening to your fucking conversation? They're not trying to have a convo with you. That's the amazing thing about the people of color that supported Trumpism. Those people don't give a fuck you're breathing. You have to be a fool and out for your own survival to fucking back it. It's fucking despicable. But that's part of how fucking many of the brown races fell, is that this race will not fucking support you. They will not worship a brown god. They will not do any of that shit. They'll kill your ass for wanting fucking you to get the police to stop shooting them. You gotta remember, anti-Black Lives Matter protests are protests to allow the cops to keep on killing us. That's what Black Lives Matter is about acknowledging systemic racism that allows the police to kill you in broad daylight on camera and no one says or does anything. So a protest against it is a protest to allow the cops to keep killing your ass. They will pick up guns to make sure you keep dying, or pick up guns to go get their hair cut and go to the beach. They will not pick up guns to make sure you don't die. That's the fucking part that you need to never forget. The people that back Trumpism will pick up military-style guns to prevent you from asking for the police to stop killing you, but they won't pick it up to save anybody's fucking life. That's what this is. It's fucking dangerous, and it's a danger to everybody that comes in contact with it in the world. Fucking whole societies have disappeared running into these animals. That's fucking truth, But nobody likes to hear it. Probably my favorite meme of the day. This is so great. But at any rate, what up, Lifted Mindset? Appreciate the bits, man. Crypto Lars, Rafa, you guys are awesome. Appreciate everybody who supports the show. Thank you. So these are some perspective conversations to have. You watch elections; they're pretty fascinating. This is great. This definitely probably triggered somebody on my wall. They still haven't gotten over Hillary and her emails yet. but it's fun to watch. Um, so yeah, I think this is pretty important, right? George fucking Bush, former president. This guy is a giant piece of shit. He got away being in office, not protecting the country, allowing the Twin Towers to fucking fall, losing the greatest amount of American life on our soil on his watch, got excused for it, got the support of the Democrats to then go and attack the wrong fucking country, destabilizing it, killing 1 million of its fucking citizens in a bid to finish off the fucking attack his dad started a fucking decade in front of him. Got away with it, collapsed the entire fucking economy, collapsed the stock market, collapsed the housing market, collapsed the entire fucking country, and walked out of office without a fucking question. This is the fucking, the picture of fucking presidential behavior in the Republican Party. I want you to not leave out the piece that I just put in front of that, because context matters. This is the picture of class for Republicans. This mass murdering piece of shit, lying sack of crap that fucking allowed fucking the Twin Towers to be gone from this continent. That's the picture of class for the Republican Party. And half the country supports these people. How do you fucking understand when the Nazis are among you in your country? You know? They're not sort of horrible people. Like, it's just destruction. The fucking terrorist fucking nightmare that's been unleashed ever since he did what he did in Iraq is plaguing the whole world for fucking 20 years now. And this guy is the guy that has to show you how to be presidential. Just imagine what's sitting in your White House at this minute. It's something fucking that people haven't fully valued, you know? So, crazy shit. So, what an election, huh? And it's not over yet. So, big news of the morning is that Pfizer came out with some information that the vaccine is 90% effective, and Fauci has been saying, 50 to 65% effective would have been acceptable for a vaccine. So this is like better than expected news, right? So futures are up something fucking absolutely fucking crazy right now. Yeah, what the heck is going on there? There we go. All right. So let's move to what the heck just happened there? Let's move to my photo album to get you guys a photo of something to do with fucking presidential cycles. Alright, I need to grab a historic chart for you guys. One sec. Uno momento. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? So yeah, so these are some historic charts that I've shown you before. So when you go back, right, context matters and people forget about this stuff. How do you think you get people to be fully left out of the Obama wave, right? It's about the authority and the way they warp reality. How does George Bush oversee this? Like, the red region is what Bush oversaw. Right, 9/11 occurs well into this. Right, 9/11 occurs down here. This is 2001, so the market tops out when he enters office, and he has this much time before 9/11 hits the country, and then you end up in a false war. He was excused from all of this, all of this in the entire time. And I spoke about this the entire time it was happening. He was excused out of that, and then the crisis at the tail end was locked into Obama's lap and kind of hung around his neck. Even while this entire reprice that is every bit structurally identical to what happened under Clinton happens. Nobody fucking really pays attention to this. It's really fucking astonishing to watch it. Nobody gives a shit or gives real value to what the fuck is going on right here. So, under Trump is handed a fucking bull market like this from Obama, right? This is Obama's market. And this is in 2014, making the point of like, what level of progression is happening from the minute that Barack Obama takes possession of the market, and the fucking ridiculous fucking campaign against him and his presidency, so that nobody takes this into account and ignores it and offsets it to the Fed, and every explanation possible has nothing to do with him, his economic plan, nothing about saving the auto industry, nothing about that, right? Has anything to do with why this is working out. And you get to Trump, right? And what do they do then? So the entire Obama-Biden administration, that is this entire pump, is then turned into fucking, if Biden takes office, your market's gonna crash, socialism. Think about what it takes to make everyone forget that this is Biden and Obama's market. Do you know how crazy that is? That everybody could even sit here and remotely entertain that when the bull market that Donald Trump was handed is coming directly from fucking Joe Biden and Barack Obama? He's not like 20 years ago the president. He's the last fucking administration that was responsible for this pump that's the size of fucking what happened under Clinton. That's insane that you can make people forget so fucking quickly. Oh my god, Biggie Smalls. I hope you did something crazy. Thanks, man. 10,000 bits. You off the chain, son. Jesus Christ. All y'all are crazy. So, this is pretty astonishing, and you have to. This is why I say context matters. That what they're able to make people forget is mind fucking blowing. It's kind of crazy because it's in very recent memory. For anybody who's like 30 years and older, you can't forget what happened under Obama administration. If you were coming out of college when you were, 20 or so, you'd be, 30 looking at this, and if you've forgotten it, like, you got to be smoking rocks. Like, it's clear the entire markup coming out of fucking, like, the crisis is literally handed to Trump, who stalls it, mismanages COVID, kills 200,000 people, sends the unemployment rate off a fucking cliff. So the only period of good growth is really here. Trump does cut taxes, does get a big acceleration, in the early stages of what he's doing, but he puts so much pressure on the global economy with trade wars that the entire economy was weaker when COVID hit, thereby exacerbating the crash for the entire planet. His policies truly backfired, just like George Bush. George Bush went to war and fucking cut taxes at the same time as you're fucking funding a war. He basically destroyed the budget deficit that was handed to him by Bill Clinton and collapsed the U.S. dollar at the same fucking time. It's actually astonishing to watch what fucking happened under Bush that he got totally excused for. And it wasn't really different with Trump trying to cut taxes at the same time as he was trying to put pressure on the entire global economy. He created an unsustainable condition. And so both times you've had two Republican presidents mismanage the fucking country. And both times, their rhetoric is just stronger. They're able to fucking control the airwaves in such a way that the liberals just aren't as vicious. They aren't as, like, ruthless in the lie to fucking just pound it through everyone's face. They're able to pound out that Biden had anything to do with the bull market and see where you think socialism equals death. In both situations under Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, these guys had higher tax structures than you see today, right? Bill Clinton was raising taxes, and so was Obama, in a bull market. If you think about it, right, you remember everything we talk about, it's about relativity. And if you are the best of breed in the world, right, you take a bigger part of the pie and take higher taxes from that, you still have more for everyone. For anyone who's my age, this is a dinosaur age, you go back to the 90s, and in the back end of the 90s, people who live in America, for anyone that wants to chime in on the chat, people had money in this era. Like, the brokest people had money in their pocket back here. In the end of the 90s, like, it didn't matter who you were in society. You had the money to get what you needed done. If you worked minimum wage, you could fucking afford where you lived. But it cost nothing, Like, I was in school, and it cost $5 to get, like, a half a tank of gas. Go to the movies was $5. You could get shit-faced for $25-$30. It costs nothing. And you're making, even in fucking, like, high school, into high school, you're making $30,000 of part-time jobs and shit like that in fucking a place with no earnings power like Central Florida. You have money. People have money at all stratas. This was the fucking market. When this deflation hit, people didn't have fucking shit. Like, people were truly broke in 2009. There was no money in the system. Deflation crushed everybody. There was nothing like that, I've never seen it like this again since that period. Yeah, 2001 really changed things. You could go to the airport, 20 minutes before your plane was going to leave and just run through the airport and jump on the plane. It was like going to a bus station. You could travel to New York and back and forth. I could go from Florida to New York and back, the same day for a round trip for 169 bucks. JetBlue was like the fucking deal back then. So, you could like travel to New York. You could travel to the airport 15, 20 minutes. You could travel to other places the way you'd make a road trip to like the beach and shit. It was like, economically feasible. $4 pitches in 1999, right? Like things were just really cheap. And you had a relatively like decent amount of money while they were that cheap. You weren't like relatively more broke the way you are today, that things are hard to afford. So the inflation, the what happened under Clinton. Clinton had higher taxes, but he had a strong dollar, and you had fucking like money in people's pockets. It was just a different time period. At the tail end of Obama, it started to get to that where people started to have cash, and you started to have like this ridiculous fucking FOMO in the housing market, where renovation, foreclosure flips, the demand is just through the fucking ceiling. Um, it's a lot of things have definitely changed. In Trumpism, Trump has brought it back to where people fucking are digging in their pockets and don't have enough to afford fucking ability to survive. You look at rental properties here in Florida, and you see fucking 4 and 5 families that are affording the same place that one family could afford because they have to pool resources to afford where to live. It's definitely changed a lot. A scoop of ice cream is 10 cents in Germany. Well, I don't know about that. That sounds pretty fucking amazing. In Hawaii, public transportation was 50 cents. Yeah, like if you were back in the 90s, like things were of course you have to take like, inflation into account, but what people had for income, unemployment at the tail end of the 90s is down there for also. It was just affordability was so much fucking different for the average person than it is today. Yeah, secretaries are balling in some places. Gas was cheap. Yeah, gas when I went to school is I think in the upper 80s and then like low 90 cent range. And then you got to like 2000, I think you were like pushing like $1 to $1.10 or something like that. But like yeah, it was just insanely cheap. Perspective matter things, right? I think I have another chart in there that's worth looking at. Uh, um, any other ones inside there? No, that was that for that little basket I have. Okay. Nope, not that one either. Oops. Where did it go? All right, let's see here. All right, got that up. So are we doing good on triggered Trump tards? We don't have any more popping up here. Was that the only ban streak that we had to deal with? All right, let's see. Um, Switch it up a little. Switch the style up. We can clean up the snow effect now, because you motherfuckers can see me. I do like the fact that I have pretty good control of the cam style. It's pretty neat. Um, Alright, so respect on the bits, Drew. Maybe Biggie dropping a 10 in the fucking opening. Damn, son. I'm not sure what kind of analysis he's expecting me to drop right now. I feel under pressure. Okay, so let's get back on charts. So what is happening this morning pre-market right now? So Pfizer news is pretty fucking epic. Right here. So the Dow is up 1,600 fucking points pre-market right now. Epic industrial fucking squeeze is happening this morning on the back of the Pfizer information. So let's get that guy. Why did I just click that? I'm so retarded. Duh. Yeah, epic pump. So if you have a long or some options on that, boy, you're a happy motherfucker today. So that is now officially enough to get the Dow back out through the high. So that'll be pretty important considering what we talked about with this high, right? Not really getting as bullish as it needs to be outside of China. That China himself looked, pretty amazing. So we wanted to see what this would do. This guy, this is China that we talked about. Who, and last week's show we talked about like who looked like beneficiaries of a Biden win, and it's China marijuana. I saw a lot of you guys kill CGC. Make sure you don't just FOMO shit because I said stuff, because there was a disproportionate amount of people that have this, and so like yeah, I know I talked about it, but like be careful. There's earnings today and stuff like that. He's up again, fucking 12%. I guess that's already hit, so he's actually up some more. So marijuana, it is on fire. China, all those things, but the COVID news is equally fundamentally important because he can create a reversal in the antisocial social rotation that's been going on all year. The guys who are beneficiaries from the COVID environment, right? He is, if this thing can come into the market, and I'm not sure exactly on like phase 3 trial testing and whether or not this thing can get to Hey, what's up? Are you feeling left out? What's up? You can come hang out with Daddy. Alright. Ivy doesn't like me alone. So yeah, if this thing can hit the marketplace, right, everybody who's been crippled by not being able to have crowds has a chance to actually go back to like pre-COVID style living, right? So let's take a look at some of the guys who are up pre-market craze and back out of this so you can see all what we need to see. So Boeing is doing crazy shit right now on the industrial pump. So you held this kind of crazy level we talked about down there, and he's jumped right into the heart of this zone again. This huge amount of volume. So as big as this gap is, where he's opening is fucking dangerous. He's gonna open in the heart of a fucking shockwave that like really you want to be on the outside of and let him escape it. Either side of this thing, these two trigger levels that were here. So he's now back in here. Financials that have also been crushed by this, right? You're seeing like Citigroup right now pre-market, wicked pop happening on these guys. So we had this bearish structure, and right now he's about to kill this entire setup on the gap he's having. So Citigroup is up 9% pre-fucking market. Insane fucking moves that are happening. XLI as a sector ETF. Has held this crazy range. It was really messy. He dipped down to the base of it. We talked about watching this entire zone. And let me zoom back out a little bit more, I guess. It's not even on the screen. So there's where fucking pre-market XLI is. So this has been like, industrials have been kind of pinned a little bit. Some parts of industrials have been running. But this is a big fucking rotation now. And for the guys who are the beneficiaries of fucking COVID, like Zoom, we talked about the Zoom CCL ratio. These dudes are getting fucking slapped off a fucking bridge now. So these moves are excessive. They're pretty fucking big and they can't be ignored. And so we had this wave come down and compromise this shockwave and ultimately recoil, and now it's going to go underneath here. Don't ignore this. This literally could be the catalyst that fucking begins the rotation out of antisocial back to the guys who were fucking like dying from it. Disney's gap is in fucking sane right now. So the questionable possible higher floor has happened. Disney's got the questionable floor through here and is just vaulted through the entire structure, the high, everything. So this now is extremely bullish. I mean, it's a move that's so fucking big. There's big money behind this. VT is the world market index. Let's see, do we have a pre-market on him? Yeah. So global markets right now, this is what VT represents. He represents like the world indexes, is gapping to all-time highs right now. The planet is gapping on Biden and Pfizer combined. So this is like pretty fucking huge and worth paying attention to, because this was a big concern in what I pointed out in OnlyFans. So this is a huge move. Now you want to see that you sustain a gap. This gap is so fucking big, right? There's definitely room for you to gap fill and drift and fuck around in here if he comes back. Not saying that's what he's gonna do, but it's worth paying attention to. Some of the other guys around the planet, you want to see what some of these guys are doing. I don't know why I stuck VT down there, but right here on the side, we can kind of see where the strength is, right? And France is up fucking much crazier because France is really suffering from fucking COVID, and this news from Pfizer is massive for them, right? So wicked reversal, and there was a level we told you was of concern for France to reverse through, and he had a similar structure to financials. So this is really fucking big right now, and not to be overlooked. The guys who are bullish are even more bullish, right? Japan and China, the Pacific Rim, those guys are who looked stronger, and now they just look even stronger. So this is maybe not the strongest move in China, but China was already bullish and kind of ahead of markets going out the highs. So definitely worth paying attention to what you're seeing here. Let's see, UK's on lockdowns. Everybody said they're on lockdown and struggling. You know, he's got Brexit combination effects. But this is good. This is good news for every single person. This is Germany that we had looked at last week. Did not make the bear structure. Just blew right back up here and back at the top of this area. What's up, girl? You can't go to sleep on me. Ivy, I'm gonna need my arm back, girl. You're gonna want to see how he deals with where he's at now. Decent amount of congestion. I think the cap blowing through this is pretty worthwhile, worth noting. So. So this looks bullish, you know, and I think that like that's worth paying attention to on the XLF, because we said the XLF looked a lot like him. So a lot of times we saw squeezes against tech carry the XLF and the XLI, like financials and industrials together. To give you perspective, right, this is how big the gap on XLF is now. So what we wanted to see was this whole area get cleared out. Which is kind of like the Boeing area, the same kind of zone that Boeing's is back in the middle of. This is, you know, XLF now gapping above this. This is definitely huge. And JP Morgan downgraded tech for the first time in 2 years today. So JP's gap, epic, right? There was his hard top two, all blown through it. Now these guys are on radar. We have to see what the timetable is of this 90% effective vaccine actually entering the market. How many people are going to take it? All of those things are, you know, other factors to consider, because most people aren't really prepared mentally to take anything coming out, you know, into the market when it first drops, however effective they said it is. So the initial news is it's great that we have a vaccine that could be whatever effective. The reality is most people aren't going to take that shit when it hits the market. So that's another set of problems. So let's see. Let me see. M Fields. So 2000 crash, 2008 crash, and COVID crash all occurred on Republican presidents. Yeah, that's exactly true. And somehow that the thing is though, if that was the opposite and it occurred on Democrats' watch, Republicans would never let that fact be untied from those presidents. They operate with a certain degree more class than the Republicans, who look to smear fucking their opponents, you know, and demonize them and use fear-mongering tactics that they're going to take your guns away and repeat constant lies and use fear to motivate their base. Remember, the red states are idiots. They're inbred idiots, right? So they don't really work on logic. So you can only prod them around with fucking a cattle prod because they're stupid animals. So they only deal with their base by manipulating them with fear. You don't see it the other way, you know, but if it was Obama that was the president when the Twin Towers were lost, that would never stop being said every day of his life till he passes away. They would hang that around his neck forever. and ever and ever and ever. But he gets none of that put around his neck, and he doesn't even get credit for fucking like saving the auto industry or any of what he did. The economic team that came together with Buffett and everybody else to help fucking stop the fucking crash in its tracks 2 months into office. Right, the rate of acceleration of the crash, you were going to unemployment rates 10% like at hauling ass speeds when Obama took office. He had to stop that level of fucking deceleration to the economy and reverse it, and they did it on a dime. There is no credit for what it took to do that. It was a combination of fiscal and monetary policy required to do it. Not just the Fed fucking adding money to the system, but fucking directing the flow of capital. And he did both fucking, on a dime and literally reversed something that was going down at the speed of the fucking, Great Depression. And no credit was ever given for that. To have robust job growth out of that, you don't fully value the fucking situation that was happening. There was an elephant rolling down a hillside, and you had to fucking stop the elephant and get it to go back up the hillside. And the U-turn that the economy made bottoming in 2009 is night and day. I walked out of the mortgage industry in February of 2009 and walked into the foreclosure industry in April. And the market literally bottomed on a dime. You had people showing up to buy fucking cash distressed properties, and the market fully began to rotate. It had to absorb the fucking crash itself and all the the businesses that folded underneath it. So there was no real way to fucking reemploy everybody at the speeds people fucking tried to hold them accountable for. They don't fucking value the fucking scale of the drop that was happening that he walked into. You just couldn't have robust job growth. When Trump got the Federal Reserve supporting him and fucking pumping money underneath him under his time frame, you already had the market running for fucking 8 fucking years, healing all kinds of fucking wounds up that most people long forgot about. You gotta remember, Obama is basically walking in the door of this shit. And you take this off the chart to get an idea of how epic the crash is, right? This is the S&P since the internet bubble, and George Bush fucking stop runs the crash of the internet bubble. He wipes out the entire fucking recovery of the internet bubble in the S&P and actually breaks it and hands that to Obama at the speed it's fucking crashing, under the collapse of the U.S. Financial system. And from that, he gets a U-turn in the market. Right, he takes office literally here January, the last week of January, and gets a U-turn in literally 2 months that bottoms and lasts all the way into Trump's presidency that he gets no credit for at all. That's how you get Biden walking in, people going, fucking, I'm going to sell all my stocks because Joe Biden, and markets go global all-time high right now on the fucking first day. It's insane the fucking level of brainwashing and fucking manipulation that fucking the Republican Party has done to people. But they fucking cheat people out of opportunity like you've never seen. So Trump's presidency begins right here. That's Barack Obama's presidency. It's not a fucking the stock market is the resume of a president, right? This is the CEO's company's performance while he's in office. No other time does the president fucking seem to get his resume overlooked except for when Obama occupied that. Bill Clinton didn't get fucked out of that perception for what he did. But Bush got his ignored when it was a disaster, and Obama got his ignored when it was a win. And Trump got credit for all of it. Yeah, this is racism. It's a fucking problem. I had another chart in there. That was this chart that I'd shown you guys before. Right? This was and it's wordy, and it's not necessarily the most professionally written thing, but this was to kind of really beat the point home of the psychological manipulation that moves the crowd out of the way of the opportunity in each of the cycles. There's another chart that's actually worth bringing up here. Where'd it go? Actually, this has such a good collection. This speaks heavily to the bias and stuff that we're talking about. It's fucking with people. Blog. What am I, retarded? Oh, it's right in front of me. So we go back to this, not this stuff. Right, this. This was a different market that captures kind of what was going on, the additional fundamental of black fear added to the normal rhetoric of what Republicans normally do anyway. So, yeah, they shit all over Clinton and tried to impeach him and fucking tried to cripple his presidency the whole way through. They were trying to fuck him just the same. But when you added the element of a black guy and the embedded fear from historic conditioning, it added this much gas and juice to the marketplace. That's why I made this chart, to kind of show you the addition, right? Obama's elected equals fear. So you add that extra emotion or charge to the marketplace, and you can corner more people because you remove them from logical thought process and make them react emotionally. So once you added the black guy's narrative to the same narrative they used on Clinton, it created this level of spike in gun sales. Now that could be lost on you because that's exactly how people aren't paying attention to what's going on in Obama, which is the job gains that are happening under him, the fundamentals improvement of the country, and being able to tie fucking black fear to Obama in the front end to get people to go, Obama speaks and stocks tank. This is being said, he's not even in office 1 month right here. But it's linking him to the fucking collapse of George Bush so that you will never pay attention to his entire bull run. It's very tricky, right? But this is why I talk about racism so much. The only way you get the whole crash of fucking George Bush to stick to him in office in 30 days is bigotry. That's the only way you get it, and then get the entire country to ignore the whole bull rip that happens, and then blame Trump for the bull rip for his policies and wipe out all of Obama and Biden's entire run. So that everyone walks in now psychologically prepared for a crash for Biden, thereby keeping you on the wrong side of fucking history. They're fucking you psychologically and weaponizing bigotry that you have, that you don't realize you have from where you got it, against you. So this is Clinton's version, right? They're still trying to fuck him in the entire pump. They're not sort of doing the same thing, and they're doing the whole thing that they're going to take your guns away and the Second Amendment's going to be challenged. All the same rhetoric that they use, the fear mongering that these people are somehow going to undo everything about the Republic. They did it to Clinton while trying to impeach him and bring down his presidency. So they were trying to fuck him just the same. Just started trying to fuck this guy for his birth certificate and all that stuff and undermine that he was a legitimate president. They did it the whole way. But when you added the fact that he was black with the rhetoric against Clinton, it equaled the biggest pump you ever fucking saw. Because even less people would fucking step out and to participate in this. It's how you fucking corner a market, right, with belief. So this was to kind of explain that to you, this is the Bush era. And while you're marking up here, I'm telling people, does this fucking rhetoric sound familiar? Because I'm old enough to remember them doing it to Clinton. But it's the additional component of the fact that he's a black dude that made it such a much more devastating corner of the market, because no one understands that they're reacting to the systemic racism that you've grown with your whole life. And like what Black Lives Matter is highlighting, you don't realize what this is doing to your behaviors. You don't fully realize how they were able to have lied the whole time this happened, right? This is Forbes. This isn't some fucking partisan party that's giving you job numbers specific to Obama and then changing them for Trump. This is clearly showing you that the job recovery goes directly from Obama into Trump. He is handed this. Obama's handed that, the apocalypse in jobs numbers, and has to reverse it. Trump doesn't have to reverse this. He has to accelerate it. And there is no mention of that fact, right? Obama's jobs weren't as good as Trump's. If Trump was handed this fucking thing and used the policies he used right down the back of Obama, this would have gotten worse. So context always matters, right? So they diminish it to where people now believe it. They believe it. They looked at this. This was posted in 2011 when they're blaming the entire collapse of the Dow Jones versus gold on Obama. So the loss of value in this country, of wealth in this country, if you look at it, when you look at this U.S. equities in terms of a hard asset, under George Bush, pretty much the entire wealth of fucking Reagan and Clinton is wiped the fuck out. That's the level of devastation that's really happening. You cannot see it when you look at the equity chart above, but not that. Must be underneath it. Isn't it? Where is it? Oh, it's down here. Right. You can't see the wipeout of George Bush as well. This chart's on this post as well. But this doesn't really show you the scope of how bad the crash is under George Bush until you look at it in terms of something that's not fiat, like gold. That's the scope of it. The George Bush presidency covers an 85% decline in the Dow versus gold ratio. More simply, your 401k has declined 85% in terms of real money. War spending and not paying for it, combined with horrible fiscal policy from the Federal Reserve, broke our back, not Obama. But him being black, he ate the whole blame of what happens here. And what you see here really, right, is that gold Dow is actually really steady from the top of the equity markets bubble, right, in 2000, the market tops. But gold's relationship with Dow is steady into 2001. It's actually 9/11 that's the catalyst that really wrecks the market internally. You can't tell this if you don't look at the market in terms of gold. So this is 9/11. That's what blows the entire fucking country off a cliff, is his fucking failed security of our fucking country, and then launching a false war is the entire apocalypse of the fucking United States into fucking Obama. And this is fucking ignored fully. He gets out of fucking office without a fucking question. If this doesn't blow your fucking mind and really give you context of why I've been speaking about this the whole time, and how I put together using racism and fucking white superiority bias to figure out where value in the market was, this is what I'm showing you. This is my research for fucking years. I've been paying attention very, very closely to the fact that, like, your biases are manipulated heavily with tribalism. That's what this comic's about, right? Think about it. This is the middle of the bull run. I made this comic for crypto Twitter, making fun of how racist crypto Twitter was because they were giving me the same shit that people were giving Obama. I'm making fun of the fact, right, he needs a white hairdo for fucking people to take him seriously. He's the wrong messenger. Even as the president, no one will listen to a word this man is saying, which is my entire fucking, like, branding of being a fucking guy who looks ridiculous, telling you the truth, and no one will listen simply because I don't look like Mitt Romney. So I could tell you fucking the train is going to hit you off the fucking tracks, and you'll get hit by the train just because you hate my ass for this telling you. Because you're so fucking conditioned against people that look like this. And nobody will admit it, which makes it the fucking scarcity in the room. How do you think this is happening? They're 100% weaponizing your ingrained biases that fucking this leading population has fucking sold the entire planet about the inferiority of brown people. And weaponizing it on your asses to fucking make you fuck yourselves out of a lifetime of fucking, like, retirement, of investments that would benefit you. And you don't even know it. You attack me, the messenger, for telling that you might have a race problem. Motherfucker, if your entire family didn't participate in this bull run, your whole family has a race problem. That's the fucking magic of this shit. It's the one thing no one would ever want to admit, right? What are the 3 things you shouldn't talk about at dinner? Racism, politics, and religion. Which 3 things don't have any kind of logical base to why the fuck you're doing in them? Religion, politics, and racism, right? It's kind of crazy. So yeah, this comic was really great. I already did this readout of this comic in another show. But, this is why I speak about it the way I do. You literally couldn't say shit. Obama tells you buying stocks is a great idea. And so did I, 3 days after Obama. He tells you on March 3rd. I tell the same thing on March 6th. And 2 versions of 2 different brown messengers, one the president and one a nobody, neither of which can get the message through to any single person they fucking told it to. I made a blog to literally try to make sure people wouldn't fucking miss this shit. Like I told people, my old blog, I'm going to get it ported over at some point. It's got a bunch of missing images and stuff. This wasn't made, this was literally made for my family and friends. Economic insights needed in our turbulent times. I understand, I made this in 2008 when no one knew a crash was happening yet, so no one knew why I wrote economic crisis in our turbulent times, right? They thought I was crazy. There's no way you could fucking tell anybody shit. Your biases don't let you fucking see what's in front of your fucking face, you know? I don't know how this thing works. It fucking goes back to the old thing. What the heck? So, yeah, pretty important to fucking recognize, the level of fucking mindfuckers that goes on with the bias insertions that they have. But you're gapping to all-time highs right now, and, that puts the trend wave back in alignment, right? Dow Jones right now, oops, this is the wrong thing. Dow Jones right now has finally fucking broken that fucking high, and you should absolutely be paying attention to this. Good lord, it's off that fucking chart. Where's the pre-market in that? Oh, there it is. Fucking retarded. What did I just do? So yeah, with what we've seen today, you see which markets are strong right now. Don't bet against some shit like this. Brand new all-time highs. The VIX should have gotten crushed off of this. So let's see where he's at. So remember we told you, watch Leon. Leon knows he manages this shit well, right? We flagged on Leon and then fucking dump barred. So actually, yeah, we drew that and we got our bear flag right off of Leon's level, right? Remember we drew that morning? And he dump barred that, which allows the market to fucking price up, which is exactly what we told you if you dump through this range, and the market has priced the fuck up. So pretty good. Euro Aussie failed the 165.84 level, which was key to watch for the VIX. That guy came back in. That's what we cared about there. DXY is not really doing anything too crazy. He's flagging down here now. You want to see if this guy fucking goes ahead and follows through and just finishes breaking the base right now. If we're going to get like, a weak dollar off of that. So you're watching him under here. You've seen Euro USD pushing out to the top side of this range. So everything's in that position. So you pay attention to this. See if the dollar is actually going to fucking leave the 5-year range or not. Aussie is fucking pushing. He rotated like we showed you there. This was the situation. He's either going to break through here if the dollar was going to be strong. So that means fucking what? The Yoda plebs are literally the fucking top of this mountain right now. And with the Dow Jones breaking highs, this dollar continues. They are literally the fucking exact worst moment in the dollar wave right now before the market went fucking crazy. So don't let that leave your mind. For crypto Twitters on the tail end of shit, if you remember what I've shown you about LTC Winter, you want to pay attention to where those dummies show up. They are literally the dumbest fucking people because crypto Twitter is massively racist. And racism is nothing more than information bigotry. When you move it off the conversation of I don't like black people or brown people, and you move into I don't like fucking like tech stocks, or I don't like fucking people who play orc characters in World of Warcraft, all you have is bigotry in another system, prejudicing of information. That's what it really is. And that's why I study that so much, because when you're not like triggering people with them fucking potentially feel like you're calling them a racist, you're really pointing out a behavior that will follow them from system to system to system, which is information bigotry. And so when you have a tendency to be a bigot in one system, you have a tendency to be a bigot in all of them. So paying attention to white racism is actually rather interesting, right? Because it is information bigotry at the highest order that invades everything else. It's a behavior that invades everything else. So I watch these guys because they're literally fucking, dumb money on levels that you can't fucking fathom. There was one more thing I would show you on that. Hold on a sec. Let's even grab your chart or something here. Where'd it go? It's not coming up here. Where did I put it? Uno momento. Download this. Download this. Alright, one sec. Getting it. Gonna end with this real quick. Let me show you something. Downloads. Where'd you go? Main chart. This is one we discussed in channels. So this was DraftKings, and this was the map in DraftKings of the crowded trade for Donald Trump. And you gotta remember, DraftKings has a similar demographic to like crypto Twitter, like a white male base. And it's an interesting thing to watch, right? The last time I ever saw this was a prediction I made for the Super Bowl, where you had pretty much the country fully tilted that the Rams would take out the Patriots. And so it's interesting to watch, where you get things like Yoda plebs or these giant groups of similar like-minded people all with one idea. It's massively, massively informative, I had people telling me flat out, like, there's no way that fucking Biden could get it, and this was the level of tilt in a population that doesn't care for fucking science or information or anything, right? They're info bigots. This was the same kind of population that was inside this also. And so these are the two places I've seen the same behavior. Isn't that fucking really crazy to look at? That full tilt. So how many times do we got to say the trend is your friend, don't fight it, right? The real reason sheep love picking tops so much is because they hate to see other people win. It's pretty funny. But yeah, Hate can move mountains, and it can also fucking outline fucking value. Is ignorance encircles value, and hate is emotion that fucking is a key fundamental to ignorance. So that is one of the reasons you pay attention to racism in markets, because it is actually an information bigot you're staring at. When you pull him out of the conversation of racism and put him into anything else, he becomes massively insightful in all those systems. So that's a memo on a memo on a memo. Let's see, catch up on what's here real quick. Damn, Izzy. 5,000 bits. Y'all are crazy. Appreciate you, man. No worries. I appreciate you guys showing up here. We hope the show has definitely helped keep some of you out of... what's going on right there? Is my screen share blurry? Or am I seeing that right? What the fuck? Oh, it looks like my fucking stream quality is getting hit. Something crazy is happening. That might be my internet connection. Something went haywire here. Yeah, I probably won't come back because the quality dropped off. Yeah, no worries, man. I do my best to keep everybody out of the way of the oncoming train. That's kind of the point of the show, is to give you enough information for you to make better decisions. So hopefully the show has achieved that goal, and at the same time teach you some market analysis, like from the way we do it, common sense, like thought process about information, and very, very simple technical analysis is what we use. Nothing really like super complicated to look at markets. Only one Trump card explosion. Well, I've been getting them off my fucking Instagram, so that's good. D-Box Prime, thanks for the mind fucking, no problem. And Cultist all the time. Cat 40 bounced back hard. Looks like French Yoda plebs are stuck with shorts, probably. Francis' picture looked pretty gloomy before we heard the news we heard today. MGM is up 15%, right? So, like, casinos. Remember, all the places that... It sucks because the stream quality went here in the middle, so I can't really show you any good charts now. It's going to look very blurry. But yeah, every place that was suffering, right? Cruise ships, airlines, casinos, Disney, any place that couldn't have foot traffic, restaurants should actually still benefit massively. People were forced reopening, going to restaurants. Now restaurants are going to have a reason to fucking go back to them. So every place that was brick and mortar that was on the other side of the antisocial trade is now fucking something to pay attention to. The more real it gets that this vaccine can get to market. So definitely pay attention to the brick and mortar fucking businesses that were on the receiving end of fucking COVID. They are now subject to a rotation back to where they came from. Server leader, thanks for the bits, homie. Lord of Meow, John from Disciples. I'm catching up. My fault. Eli, damn, y'all fucking went crazy in here. Shout out on all the bits you guys threw, man. I hope the content's worth it. I appreciate everybody that supports the show. Mao, QZ Dubs, Eli again. You guys are fucking... What the hell was going on down here? Lifted Mindset, Sanseco. You guys are off the chain. Rocker, Rupert, Mao again. Izzy. Damn, man. I'm glad you guys like the content. It makes me feel good. Philadelphian. Wow, was I this far behind the fucking chat? Sweet Jesus. Space Future and Server Leader. Appreciate everybody that threw some bits at the show today. Damn, Izzy, you did that twice. What are you, out of your mind? I love the 420 tag that's always in Izzy's fucking bit drop. That's so great. Jezebel, appreciate you. And Lord of Meow threw out some subs for some of you guys who hopefully some of you people see it in those subs. Rewatch the shows. There's a lot of information that can help you just in your thought process of how you go through things. We covered a bit of stuff in here. Really want to talk about bias and kind of like, how people get put on the wrong side of things so often because they're so willing to believe, things that they feed you. Things that feed your innate biases, they've kind of stoked already. And, it's really dangerous. Hyper KKT, appreciate the bits, dude. Damn, y'all are absolutely crazy. A's and G, Trivial. Respect, y'all. It's 9:10. I got a wrap right now. So, good stream. A lot of information in here to think about. So definitely give it a rewatch. And we'll be back possibly tonight or tomorrow night on a night show. If not, we're going to see you guys on Wednesday. So, appreciate everybody again supporting the show. Really awesome. And we'll be back soon. Peace out.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4,